If you spend enough time on TikTok, you're going to come across stories that kind of just stop you mid scroll. And not because they're wild in some sensational way, but because they're complex but relatable and usually a mess, in some ways like unsettling. She's claiming that her relationship became emotionally complicated and even manipulative. And more recently, she's turned to an AI chatbot that she's named Henry for emotional support. Number one, erotic transference. Number two, the importance of professional boundaries in therapy. And then also our sort of growing willingness to form emotional bonds with AI. I want to unpack this story not to pass judgment on Kendra or her psychiatrist, but to explore what the situation, I think, teaches us about people trying to just basically navigate connection in an increasingly digital world as both clinicians and patients. So we'll talk about in this video what erotic transference is, how ethical boundaries and therapy are supposed to work, why AI chatbots like Henry might actually be a bit of a lifeline in moments of emotional rupture, and sort of what happens when situations like this spill into the public sphere. But there's a particular form of transference we call erotic transference, which is what Kendra's story taps into. And that's basically where you start to experience romantic and even sexual feelings towards your therapist. Now, from Kendra's account, this is kind of how she describes her therapist, that sometimes he was warm and validating, and at other times cold and distant. And she even makes it a point to say that this unpredictability was what sort of drew her in, almost like she's chasing the warmth. This intermittent reward cycle is really addicting for us. It's a really powerful psychological hook, if you will. It's kind of the same reason why gambling can be so addictive. But I'd say overall, the key thing to remember here is that erotic transference is a natural, normal human phenomenon. In fact, I'd be willing to bet that a number of you watching this, if you've been through therapy enough, maybe have had this happen to you. It's not the client's fault that it comes up. It's not inherently harmful either. Really, the important thing to know is that the harm or the healing can come from the way that it's handled. The relationship is inherently asymmetrical. As therapists, we have access to clients' most vulnerable experiences. We know how to read their emotions, and we are in a position of authority. That's unfair. And that power imbalance makes it impossible to have a truly equal, consensual romantic relationship. And even subtle actions like oversharing personal stories or responding inconsistently to a client's emotional bids can muddy the waters and actually result in some therapeutic harm.